Good afternoon on Thursdays of Dimensions. I'm here to just share one encounter I had last week with a client. So, anyway, I met up with this client and immediately I was drawn to her throat chakra. Remember what I told you about eating the meat and leaving the bone? You have to ask yourself questions. How did those people in the beginning get those revelations about things that are not seen? And you have to question it. And also remember that I have been in the industry of somatology for a very long time, and other practices that are frowned upon are actually coming to light lately. So I will call it the throat chakra because that's what it is. As I picked her, I was drawn to it, but I just carried on talking to her as normal. I did the treatment, then at the end I had to give the feedback. I told her, I wouldn't normally tell her this because she's one of my new clients, but I just told her she has to focus on herself in terms of like the message that I got as I took her from reception was that I want to put it right, I don't want to get it wrong. The message that I got that time was sometimes we don't talk about the things that we need to talk about just for the sake of peace. Or should I say, just for the sake of peace, we actually refrain from talking about things that need to be discussed. So I told her that I don't know what this message means to you, but I think it totally is talking about things that you have to address in your relationships, in your surroundings and stuff like that you hold inside. So in that way, you have to stimulate that part of the center points in you so that you can communicate. And I was asking her, does it mean anything to you? And she said she totally knows what it means and she'll need to address something at home, So for me, that also told me that it was a confirmation that we cannot throw out the water with the whole chicken in it. You can eat the meat and leave the bone, even in the very things that you don't understand. And it also taught me that trust your instinct. We call it instinct. We call it the Holy Spirit. We call it the inner man. Just trust it and just speak what you have to say. Sometimes at that very point is to actually assist the person in front of you, because wherever she is, she might not have opened up more, but she struggles with communication, and then she bottles up things a lot, which can actually be a bigger problem. So in the Eastern philosophy, they talk about stimulating your throat chakra. If you're struggling with that, there's many ways of doing it. One of it is to write things down. Sometimes when you cannot actually voice it out, it's nicer to actually write it down to the person or to yourself just to release. So at least for that point, I realized that I had to communicate to her something that she'd understand. The message at that time didn't mean anything to me, but when I told her, it meant so much for her. So it's a continuous learning. It's continuous learning. It never stops. I'm going to leave you here for today. I know this was very short, but I'm actually house ridden. The doctor put me off, so I'm trying to get my beauty rest. Please enjoy your week and weekend that's coming up. Any questions? I'm waiting.